Hello everyone, this is Amrit Pal Singh. I'm here to present my next video on Apache Kafka. In this video, I'll be discussing that how we can configure the consumer in Java, right? For that reason, I've already opened up the Eclipse IDE in front of you. You can see in the front of you that the Java project has already been made and some set of code has already been written over there. So I'll be first going through the steps in a very brief way, briefly. Then I just I will make you understand with the help of one document which I prepared for this little practical, and then we come back to that code to discuss the things line by line. First of all, just have an overlook on this particular code. It's just a matter of 4 or 5 steps which is required for this little practical. The steps are like you can see that under the main function, then main class, we have the properties of consumer. Like this portion is similar to the portion that we already have discussed in the case of configuring the producer. In the previous video, I've explained that how we can configure or how we can create a simple producer in Java, and over there also I've mentioned that properties as well. So we are having the properties object here, and through that object we are actually configuring like multiple properties of that consumer. Then this is the new thing. We'll be discussing that thing in that document, like what's the use case of auto commit. Actually, it is used for the offsets. Third thing we have the deserializer. Like in the case of a producer, we were making use of serializer. Now it is the opposite process because we need to consume the data or the events. So that's why it is a deserializer. It's opposite to that serializer. Then we are actually creating the consumer object, right? The way we were creating the producer object. Then we are subscribing to the topic. Like I guess just recall from the introductory video of the Apache Kafka, in which I have told you that Apache Kafka is a publish subscribe system. The producers keep on publishing the data or the events or the messages, and the consumer will be getting the data, or it will be consuming the data through the subscription. Okay, this consumer may have subscribed to one or more topics. So what the topic name is, source topic, right? Then we have the polling available. So these are some of the steps available. To understand these steps, because some of the steps are new, so that's the reason I have prepared a little document, that PDF. Then I'll be discussing the things with the help of PDF first. Then I'll just come back to the code, and then I'll just in the front of you, I'll make you see that how we can implement this practical and how we can carry out this demonstration. So let's jump to that document which I prepared. So this is a document which I prepared, just a 6 pages document actually, which is required or which will enhance the understanding for this practical. So in this case, I have written all the important things which are required for this practical. First is like the first thing you can see in the front of you now in that screen, that we have multiple things are written over there. Right. Again, if you have gone through all my videos, this playlist of Apache Kafka, then I've already have explained these words, like what is topic, what is partition, what is consumer group, and what is consumer. So let's discuss it little again because it's a prerequisite for this practical as well. So in this case, you can see that first term is written like a topic. So what's the topic is like producer and consumer actually is got associated with each other with the unique name. Okay, all the communication of the data will take place under this unique name, which is called as a topic. So topic is a unique name, that every topic will be having a different name, so it can't be the same, right? Okay, then we have the next point is partition, like because that one node, okay, is not actually capable enough to support all the data, then we can have some different chunks of a data, so that we can divide it into multiple parts, which is called partitions. Then we have a consumer. Consumer is one who's gonna consume the data, right? And next is consumer group. It may happen that that partition or that topic may be consumed by more than one consumer. So that bunch of consumers has been given one name called consumer group, right? And in this case, name is consumer group 1. So in this particular example, which you are seeing it in front of you, that in this case, the consumer 1, which is the with a part of the consumer group 1, is consuming all the data from this topic 1. The consumer C1 is getting all the messages from all the 4 T1 partitions. So this can be the drawback, because like in the case of low latency application, where we have to like respond in quickly, then maybe due to the availability of one consumer, we may get some delay in that case, because only there is the one entity on the receiving end, on the consumer end, which is consuming, right? So it may be the speed of the consuming may be lesser than the speed of producing. So this is a problem. Then we can shift to next case in which we have added the second consumer. Okay, so in this case that now the data or the load will be properly distributed among two consumers. It is some better case than the previous one. So in this case you can see that messages from partition 0 and partition 2 may go to the C1 consumer 1, and messages from the partition 1 and 3 will go to the consumer 2. So in this way we can manage the workload. The third case in which we have 4 consumers. So in this case, it is a one-to-one mapping. So it is I'll say this is a best case out of the 3, because in this case, every consumer is actually now aware of the fact that from where we need to get the data. And in this case, the workload will be properly evenly distributed. So in this case, we have 4 consumer, and each will read the messages from the single partition. Okay, so the main way we can scale the data consumption is by adding more consumers, that I've already have discussed. If we have more consumers, then we can easily scale up the things as well. So it is a common for the Kafka consumers to do the high latency operations such as write to the database or time consuming computation. So as I've already have said that, like if we are having lesser consumer but we have more data to be consumed, that we may end up with the high latency, right? The delay will be more. So in that case, we can keep on adding the consumer so that to manage the workload, right, and to do the things in an efficient way, right. In this case, you see the single consumer can't keep up with the rate, because rate at which the data is flowing may not be it's not like the rate we are getting, or we are actually the way we are consuming data. So rate of producing is more than the rate of consuming. So this is a problem, right. So this is actually some set of the environment which I wanted to discuss, because these words or these terms will be coming in my practical as well. Now, so coming to the code now. So what are the different steps we need to configure or for implementing this practical? Just see, the first step is to consume record is to create a Kafka consumer instance, which you can see in my code as well. This is a one line we have in which we are creating the Kafka consumer instance. So creating a Kafka consumer is similar to the creating a Kafka producer. So both are similar. Like that's why I've said that if you have seen my previous video, that both things are quite similar to each other, right? So afterwards, we need to configure some set of properties, right? These properties, we are having 3 mandatory properties and 1 optional property. So we'll be discussing now. The 3 mandatory properties are bootstrap servers, key deserializer, and value deserializer. In the case of producer, we were having serializer, because over there we were producing, now we are consuming. So we are doing the opposite thing. So we'll discuss these words, like these properties one by one. The first property is a bootstrap.servers. So bootstrap.server is nothing but a list of the Kafka brokers to where we need to listen the data from. Or actually, I guess you all are aware of the fact that the Kafka broker is nothing but another name given to the Kafka server. So this bootstrap.servers, why we have S at last? Because we can have a long list of the Kafka brokers from where or to which we are associated with, and from where we are listening to the broker, right? So we can have a long list available as well, which is the key value pair, right? Or it is actually in the form of key value, means the IP address colon port number in this way. So it is used the same way as in a Kafka producer. So this property is common between both producer and consumer, right? Next 2 properties are key deserializer and value deserializer. As I've already said, that data will be sent in the form of key value pair, right? And in this case, we are making use of deserializer. To help you understand more in a better way, I have just taken one snapshot. And in this case, you can see that we are converting the object to the byte stream in the serialization, and deserialization we are converting back that byte stream to the Java object. So this is called deserialization. So this is the whole process. So serialization actually followed in the producer, and deserialization is followed in the consumer, right? So this is the things. Fourth property, we also have the fourth property, which is not mandatory, but it's actually a quite useful property, which is called group.id. We already have discussed about the consumer group, and then consumer group, actually this ID actually will specify the consumer group the consumer instance belong to, because in one consumer group we can have n number of consumers. So this will indicate that to which consumer group this consumer belongs to. So we can have n number of consumers, and we can also have n number of consumer groups as well, like as the application grows up. So last thing we have in this case is enable auto commit. You will find this property in my code as well. So why it is important? So why I've written in this? Because this parameter controls whether the consumer will commit the offsets automatically. I guess this I've already explained in the Apache Kafka terminology, the term offset. The offset meaning is it's a like a serial numbers we are given to that data, so that, or to the message, so that we can have a track that up to what level we have consumed data and up to what level we have read the data, right? Or we have a producer data. So it's some series of numbers we have associated with each message called offsets. So if we are keeping this property, so we are actually there's no overhead on us, that it will be managed automatically, that offsets will be committed automatically. Otherwise, if we are setting it false, then we can control as per our requirement. So we don't want so in this practical, we are not actually want this to configure of our own. So we are keeping it default, right? So default meaning is that it will be the offset will be committed automatically. But in the case of if you want to if you want to manage of your own, then we can also set to false as well, which is necessary to minimize duplicates and avoid missing data. So offsets are very, very important for us, because it will keep track like which data we have produced and what data we have consumed. So afterwards, another step we write in this code is how we can subscribe to the topics. As we all know that Apache Kafka is a publish subscribe system. So we need to subscribe to one of the topic. So this we have a subscribe method for this. Then we have a poll loop. This is a main part or main code of this particular practical. At the heart of the consumer API is a simple loop for polling the server for more data. So what is this poll loop is all about? This is nothing but this is the way how we can consume data, right? It's an infinite loop. Why it's an infinite loop? Because generally the consumers are usually long running applications that continuously poll Kafka for more data. So it's a long running application. So that's why actually the time till the time we are getting data from producer, we need to keep the things active, right? So the same way, like we have taken example, the sharks must keep moving or they die. The consumer must keep polling Kafka, otherwise they will be considered dead and they will be ignored, and we can select some other consumers, right? So that's the reason we need to be keep active and keep polling Kafka for more data, right? That's why the polling is important for us. Otherwise, like if you're not active, right? If you're not polling, right? Then what will happen, that the Kafka broker will feel that you are this consumer is dead, and they may select some other consumer for consuming data. So the parameter we pass poll is a timeout interval. You will find that we have written 100 over there, and control how long the poll will block if the data is not available. Meaning is if this is set to 0, because it's a numerical figure, if it is set to 0, the poll will return immediately. Otherwise, it will wait for specified number of milliseconds. In our case, we have decided to have the 100 milliseconds for data to arrive from a broker. So it will wait for the 100 ms, then will return the result back to the consumer, right, to the screen. So I'll show you in front of you that in this case, the data will not. Meaning of this property is that if we are setting it 0, then it will not wait for any second. If there is no data for one ms, then it will just come back, right? It will just return the empty string over there. Otherwise, like it have to wait for a some period of time, which we can pass in this case. So poll will return a list of records. Each record will contain topic and partition information, offset of the record. So a lot of things are available, and a value and the key of the record. So poll will return these information about the contain the topic, partition the record came from, offset, key and value as well. So this is nothing but some documentation of this practical, so that you will be having a knowledge, so that understanding will be better, right? So this is all about that documentation. Now coming back to the code again. In this case, I've already have set up everything. The Java project has been made. I've configured the build path, right? I have added the external jar files from the Kafka installation. So everything has been done. So just go through it again. The first thing is we have added some proper packages. Then we have the main function. Then we have main class, main function. Then we have the properties object. And first is a bootstrap server, which I've already have discussed. It's a list of the Kafka brokers. So normally, you know that the default port number on which Kafka listen is 9092. So localhost :9092 is the value of this bootstrap servers. Then we have a group ID, which I've already explained in the documentation, that it's a it will tell you that to which consumer group this consumer will belong to. This, the name of the group is test group. Then we are keeping this property to true, so that because we don't want to like set the offsets of our own, we need to keep the like a burden to the Kafka itself, that it will automatically manage the commits, the offset commits. Afterwards, we are specifying key serializer, deserializer, and value deserializer. In this case, the data will be in the form of string. That's the reason like we are making use of a string deserializer and a value deserializer. So this is a serialization and deserialization is going on, which I've already explained. In the case of producer, we are making use of serializer. In the case of the your consumer, we are making use of deserializer. Then we are actually making the consumer object, the instance of the consumer that we discussed in my documentation as well. Then we have to subscribe to one of the topic. So this topic has already been created, with the name source-topic. In case if you are joining me in this video, I'll recommend you to please visit my previous videos of this playlist, where I've explained in detail how to create a topic. So this can be a array list. You can see that arrays.as list. So it can be a lengthy list as well of the topics, because the consumer can at one time in parallel can consume data for multiple topics as well. So this is the array list of array, right? Next is we have an infinite loop of polling, which I've discussed, that in this case we are passing 100, and this like strike indicates that this word maybe got depreciated in the upcoming versions. So still it is functional. So that's why it's not showing that error in this case. So it's a infinite loop. You can see from this while true, and here we are actually putting the 100 as a time interval, that it has to wait for 100 ms, and then we have a regular for loop available, and we need to print on the screen what will be printed: the offset, key, and value. Right, this will be printed on the screen. So this is the little practical. This is a set of code. So how to carry out this practical? Quite simple. Just see how to run this practical. First of all, go to your terminal and go to Kafka home, and then open up your Zookeeper, because it's the first step to start with the practical. Do not close this window. Now again go to Kafka home and open up the Kafka server. Right? You can see something going on behind the scenes. It's fine, perfectly fine. Then going to the Kafka home, right? Now we need to produce data, right? Okay. In this case, in this particular window, there's something is unique. In this case, you will find that something is unique, which is this is the previous syntax till this point, no issues. But we are associating one new property. Property is another argument we are passing, in which we are making use of pass.key equal to true, because we need to pass the key and value. The result should be in a key and value, so that consumer can consume. So we are keeping the key as a true, and separator is colon. You know that key and value need to be separated by some like a symbol. So it is a colon, right? So let me. So this is the complete answer. So we need to send the data in some key value pair. So I'm writing key colon. Why colon? You can see on the screen we have a separator equal to colon. Key colon value 1, enter. Key 2 value 2, enter. So in this way you can have a multiple messages you can send at one time. Value 3. Okay, so we have sent data from producer, in which this is a regular producer. Just we have added new two properties. One is a property tag, in which we are keeping the parse.key equal to true, because we need to send data in a key value pair, and we also setting one more property, key.separator equal to colon. So messages has been separated by colon, key 1 value 1, in this way. Okay, so keeping this as such, do not close any window. Now going back to your Eclipse IDE and click on this button. You can see we got a message. You can see the answer that offset is 35. So it is managed automatically. We are not aware of the fact that how it is generated. So that's why we are keeping it true is offset value, and key is key 1, which we have sent, value is value 1. And similarly, we got the 3 messages. So this concludes today's practical of how we can configure consumer in Eclipse IDE. In case if you find some word is not understood, or something is not actually cleared, so please comment on this video. I'll be happy to address those issues. Thanks for watching. See you next video.